Hi everyone, this is Mark Dibe. In this video we are going to continue our session about the CSS grids, and we are going to talk about the grid template rows. So the last time we have been talking about the grid template columns, and we know that the grid template columns is the one responsible to divide our grid into multiple vertical lines, okay, called columns. And right now we are going to talk about the grid template rows. So from the last template we keep it like it. I just changed the number of columns to 4, and I have added some content right here, so you can copy and paste it. Right now we are going to view the grid template rows. So basically we use the grid template rows if we want to handle the height of our row, okay, or the size of our row. So what do we mean by this? Let's try first for example 400 pixel. Okay, so as you can see that my first row becomes 400 pixel, okay, and the default one is auto. Okay, so by default my row size is auto, and I can manipulate the size of each row as I want to. So I'm going to keep the first one as auto, the second I'm going to set it as 150 pixel, the third I'm going to give it 100 pixel, and the fourth I'm going to give it an 80 pixel. Okay, as you can see that each one has his own size. Okay, so with grid template rows you can control the size of your rows, but what if we want to, let's say I want that all my rows have the same value. Okay, so considering that I want all my rows take, for example, 100 pixel of size. Okay, so what do I do? This could be a logic reason, because we may not know how many rows we could have inside our HTML element, inside our grid, especially if it's generated on the client side. So this could be a need. So to solve this need, they have created something called grid Autorose, and this grid Autorose controls all the size of your rows. So we can set 150 pixel and save. You can see that all my rows becomes 150 pixel. Okay, I'm going to set another one to 50 pixel, and you can see that the first one is going to be to 150 pixel, the second is going to be 50. Then again, turning the rule again, the first is 150, the third is 50. Okay, now I'm going to manipulate it to see it again, as you can see. So this is how we control all our rows in a way that we need it. Okay, we can also set the 1FR, 3FR, and 2FR. Okay, as you can see that the 1FR, which is the normal one, the 3FR is going to be 3 times equal to the first, and the second, which is 2FR, is going to be 2 times bigger than the FR. Okay, this was mainly about the grid auto rows and the grid template rows. There is also just one small thing that we want to talk about. For sure it's not the best practice to set the size static for the rows, so we basically do something else. We set a minimum size for our row, and we keep it to grow as much as the item need or the content needs. How we can do this? Easily we can set it as with a simple one called min-max. Okay, so the min-max key is going to take the minimum value. Okay, so the minimum accepted value is 100 pixel. As you can see that this content took at least 100 pixel. Let's change it to 200 pixel and see the difference. Okay, and we are going to set the maximum value equal to auto, which means no matter what the size of the content, you are going to set the row equal to the content. Okay, so as you can see right now, I set the minimum size of my row is 200 pixel. I'm going to set it again to 100, and this is going to be better. As you can see that the minimum size is 100, and no matter how much I set the content, okay, for example, and I'm going to, okay, as you can see, for example, this one, or let me remove two actually because they become too big. Okay, this is better. As you can see that this one, this cell needs a lot more than 100 pixel. So if I set a static value, those content are going to overflow my content, which will behave a bad behavior inside our layout. So with min-max, I set the minimum size of my row to 100 pixel and the maximum size equal to the size of the content. Okay, so that is basically why we use min-max inside our grids. So thank you for watching and goodbye.